text him and tell him.
Excuse me.
What you smoking on, Danny?
I have some Canna Boys actually.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
In honor of our other guest. This is the dinosaur food.
Wow, you still got the dinosaur food? That's
yeah. I'm a hoarder,
That's
man.
rare.
And the Mac 1.
Nice. Yeah, I ran through those a minute ago.
Yeah, I don't always get to do a lot of dabs and stuff. Like I recently got the peak going, and I'm just worried because I only have my one atomizer, so I've been using like the dab straw kind of thing that I have here.
Yeah.
I think it's called a terp pen or a terp straw or something.
I actually thought I wasn't going to be using my peak at all because I'm inside, but I'm actually using it for like, like video games and stuff. Like if you're like queued up or something, or just in the middle of like intense gaming and you don't want to like fire up the torch, the peak is definitely helpful.
Yeah.
I'm still using it indoors a decent amount. But whenever I can, I'm doing this. The regular.
Danny, I miss you, Danny.
I miss you too. You're up in Westchester?
Yeah. But we got a studio up here, like in Washington Heights, one of our headquarters, and that's where we are now. I think Jason's jumping on now. He's trying to log in. All of us are not the best with technology. This stuff is complicated. It took me a minute to figure it all out.
Guys,
I didn't get it first time.
I'm in.
The man, the myth, the legend.
There you go. I see you.
There he goes.
You're in darkness, my dude.
What's up, AB?
So Jason, what's going on, my brother?
Who are you guys?
What's up, my dude?
You ready to take over the world, Jason?
Hey, Danny. Hey, no, just my block.
Just my block. Michigan for now.
Just my block.
It starts with the block.
You already took over the block, man. We're taking over the world now. We're going to get this started now, guys. So welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen out there in the world tonight. We have a very special Happy Munkey Happy Hour with Vlad. We got some iconic cannabis guests. Only make special cameos for special people. Start off first with my brother from another mother, editor, Triple OG, Danny Danko. Thank you for coming on, Danny.
Thank you for having me. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be part of the Happy Munkey family. I really, truly appreciate it.
Definitely, Danny. It's an honor. The feeling is mutual. And we got my other brother, also a writer, and super Triple OG connoisseur, my brother Dab Hanna. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Yo, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to be around the Happy Munkey fam. Well, not actually around this time, but still nice to see y'all.
Of course, man. This is the best way we could get to see each other, guys.
Safest way, man. This is the best way for me to not feel paranoid.
And then last but not least, we got my brother from another Chaldean mother, Jason Tueni, CEO and founder of Canna Boys Genetics. What's up, Jason?
Thank you, Vlad. Vlad, I'm the head of sanitation over there, man. I'm not the CEO, just the head of sanitation. You know?
All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's start off
thank
with
you for having me.
It's an honor, brother. Come on, man. This is like family here. It's just that, we're just doing it on here now because we can't be together in person. We do this in person all the time, guys. We're just doing it on here.
Word.
So what you guys been smoking on? Give me the vibes. And how are you keeping your mental health during these crazy times right now? What keeps you at peace during the madness?
Hash rosin for me, bro.
Let's start with you, Ab.
I got that. I just got a shit ton of hash rosin. Whatever I could get my hands on, and a little bit of live resin too. But I'm just dabbing. Honestly, I try not to smoke too much, just because I do get like bitch lungs sometimes from it. So if I happen to catch this shit, I'd rather have my lungs in tip-top shape than doing the low temp dabs doesn't bother my lungs that much. Breathing easy.
But we're gonna give you a pass, man. You ain't got no Canna Boys concentrates there, but we're gonna give you a pass because of the circumstances.
You want to know why I don't?
We're gonna give you a pass.
The reason why I don't is because I already fucking finished it, man. I don't let that shit sit around. I smoke that shit.
Yeah. AD is one of my favorites.
What's going on with you, Jason? What you smoking on out of the collection to keep your mental health sane and to stay focused during these crazy times?
Thank you, Danny. You're the best. Today I'm smoking on sticky buns. It's, yeah, it's a Mac crossed with Gorilla Glue. It was bred by Capulator. So, he used his Mac 1 male with, I believe it was Josie Wales' Gorilla Glue number 4, which was the original Gorilla Glue number 4. There's really good genetics. I found a really good keeper. Man, it's fire. Love it. One of my favorite smokes.
Is that one of your newest ones, or is that like something that you had for a while?
Well, we've had her in circulation for about 2.5 years, but we pulled her out of circulation about 1.5 years ago because we had so much fire in the stable that we just said, hey, it's too much right now for everybody.
That's a good problem to have, Jason.
Just put a little bit in at a time. We don't want to.
That's a good problem. That's a good problem to have. Too much fire in the stable.
What's the flavor like on that sticky buns? Is that like Mac 1?
No, it has a lot of Mac 1 in it, but the finish is closer to a Gorilla Glue. I taste a lot of peanut butter at the end. I literally, I'm a fat boy. I love peanut butter. I taste a lot of gas, and it has a peanut butter taste. Like literally right now, I'll close my mouth and I feel like I just ate Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's fire.
I really like that. It's the Mac 1. It gives off a lot of grape for me at the end, a lot of grape flavor. Which Mac 1 is my favorite. It has the look of the Mac, it has the feel of the Mac, but it really doesn't have much taste. It's closer. That's the Mac 1.
Dinosaur food had reminded me of
my favorite.
I had the dinosaur food in live rosin and live resin form, and I definitely felt like it reminded me of the Mac Heavy. It was fire. If anything, it was like a louder Mac. It was crazy.
And for the noobs, for the noobs, Mac is Miracle Alien Cookies, also Capulator, right? You guys have kind of like a symbiotic relationship, friendship with the cat, right?
He's
Shout
I don't want to say
cat,
a mentor. He's the man. I don't want to say like a mentor. He's a person who I've leaned on for knowledge over the years. I've told him my plans. When I first met him, he thought I was really crazy and I wasn't going to do what I was going to do. But he's been like a pretty cool person I could lean on. I try to throw my ideas off of him, and we throw each other ideas. And that when we started to do that, we became friends, and I really like supporting him. He works very hard at his craft, and it makes it easy for guys like me who just, I like hunting seeds, so I like hunting through good genetics, and he makes it really easy for guys like me to look good. And and that's why I like supporting like his line. And I'm not like the type of guy who goes after clout, company that will go, nothing against Runts or Cookies. These guys, God bless them. But, I wanted my company to work with, really good breeders and gardeners themselves.
You like me, Jason. We take the long route.
So
run the marathon, baby.
Sticky buns.
Danny, I want to know what the triple OG Danny Danko smoking on to keep his mental capacity going during these crazy times.
It's funny. I'm kind of digging in the crates, so I found a jar that I didn't even know I had, and I kind of remember putting it away, and maybe a couple of years ago, and it was Super Lemon Haze, really nice pheno that a friend of mine had grown out. And I kind of just was like, oh, I'll save this for a rainy day. I'll put it away. But this is the Super Lemon Haze. And
from years ago.
For like about 2 years. And it's just been sitting in a jar. So it's cured real nice. I mean, it's like, very nuanced. There's lots of hints of this and that. And it burns super clean. It didn't dry out like into fart dust or anything like that either. It's still like...
So it's still got the lemon terps?
Yeah, still got the lemon terps. I put it in a, just a cool, dark place, and of course, I got my Canna Boys extracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't.
Oh, come on,
this is
man.
incredible.
Canna Boys is ringing bells like Sunday at 12 o'clock.
This is the dinosaur food. This one actually has the dinosaur food. It has it in there. Yeah, exactly. This is the batter. That's my like rainy day stash that I put away, and then this I already. I ripped through this Mac 1 basically in like the first couple of weeks of the lockdown, and I swear to God, it like really saved my life because you got all kinds of thoughts swirling through your head, and this really just brought me right back to earth.
Something I get a lot with the Mac 1. A lot of our consumers / clients. Patients, they really tell me it helps them with PTSD, depression. It has a great body and head, but from what I know, it helps people a lot mentally. And in times like this, with people being stuck inside, not knowing what's happening tomorrow, telling you that thing's from God, it's right now. That's why marijuana's selling like crazy, because people mentally need to forget about it.
People are gonna come out of this with all that stuff you said, Jason, PTSD, all that stuff right now. So without marijuana, I don't know what people would do right now.
Exactly.
Now, Danny, I'm gonna need your help with this, Danny, because I gotta, I had to go and get creative when you got Jason, the Canna Boys on here. So I need you to help me explain this to him. So, this is Happy Munkey Happy Hour with Vlad. So cheers, guys. I'm about to light my joint up, and I want you to help explain it to Jason what this is, because you guys are genetics guys. I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm just the lifestyle part. So this is the Uptown Haze.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I need you to help Jason understand they don't got this in the West Coast. This is an Uptown New York City thing. Break it down to him, Danny.
Well, from what I know about it, it has a bunch of different names. Miami Haze, Poudet, Piff. There's a bunch of different terms for it. Some people love it, some people hate it.
It's my only card when I get around big genetic dudes like Jason and Burner. I'm like, well, you guys don't have this,
Well, in this day and age, it's gotten around. There's people who have it now and are growing it out for sure. But
on the West Coast, they don't really know about it, Danny.
That's
in the
possible.
Industry,
I mean, there's pockets, probably not in the industry.
If you're not from New York or from the tri-state area, they don't really know about it too much.
Right. And originally, I think like I said, it's got that Miami name to it. It's well known in like the Dominican neighborhoods uptown.
I'm Dominican, Danny. Explain it to him, Danny.
Well, there was another thing called Crippies, where that, back in the day, this would come. Yeah. It would come from Florida as well, and this is one of those things that came, I think, not from NorCal but from Florida, and I don't know really the genetic details too much. I mean, it's obviously a haze. It's obviously, it grows in these like little kind of tight, quarter-sized nuggets usually, but from different growers. But it's got a musky, kelpy, it turns a lot of people off in the same way that the GMO strain kind of has that almost foul kind of smell. And then sometimes, people call it church too, because it smells like church, like the incense that they burn, the frankincense. And so they called it Frankie's too. You ever hear that, where they called it Frankie's?
That's 80 names.
I tell you one thing,
they
Danny,
called it Frankie's also.
No matter what has come along, it's remained a staple. Even after 1,000 strains came to New York, it's always been a staple.
It's honestly for growers, it's a pain in the ass for growers because it's not a big yielder, and it takes a little extra time to finish too. So growers kind of hate it too in some ways, but it shifts units uptown. You know what I mean? There's blocks. There's a lot of blocks up there.
See,
Where-
Jason, you didn't. Jason,
marijuana is very regional.
Jason, you didn't know that Danny knew about the blocks. You see, Jason, Danny knows about the blocks.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Trust me, man. Danny knows everything, man. Like Hayes is big in Europe and big in maybe on the East Coast. Michigan, we smoke. You know, over here we were really big on cookies for a long time.
You guys love GMO.
It's more of an indica.
11, 12. It was big in cookies. Yeah. You know, a lot of indica over here. In LA, it's OGs. In you know, north, it's exotics. North of LA, you know, everywhere's, you know, and
Give me the diesels.
In Ohio, there's Death Star. You know, you guys on the East Coast smoke diesels, and that's in your with a diesel. And if you just get that little bit of diesel, it's gonna calm everything down and take you like you were a kid again, you know. And you know, it's very regional, man. That's what I learned.
1,000%. There's always like certain staple strains, certain things that people like in certain regions. 1,000% right, Jason. I want to ask you guys. I've been hearing this term thrown a lot. I want to ask the experts about this term essential. Been essential all my life, but now it's officially the term essential in some places. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, to me, it's amazing to see it come full circle from illegal to essential. And we also use the term essential oils because that's really what you're after when you're growing and when you're smoking and everything else. That's where all the, you know, that's where all the love is. And but as far as cannabis being essential, it's, you know, same. I was talking to a Polish podcast earlier today in Poland, and there's parts where like it was South Africa, and they're not selling booze and cigarettes, and people are straight up flipping out. You know what I mean?
They're bugging.
And cannabis is it calms people down. Everybody knows it's like, you know, it is 100% essential. And especially if you think about the medical patients and people who really need it to like not have seizures and things, because they have a seizure, they puts them in the hospital and then boom, you know. So I really do think, you know, we all know, of course, that it's essential, but it's amazing to see the rest of the world, or at least, you know, some of the states and stuff figure it out and allow it. And there's lines outside the dispensaries like nobody's business, you know what I mean? Like big, long lines, but 6 feet apart, you know, everybody's maintaining their distance, but those lines are there.
It's crazy. What do you think, Ab?
Remind me of the question again, sorry.
So the question is that, you know what I mean, now, you know, for us, cannabis, you know, we're different, right? Because we're part of the industry. Cannabis has always been essential to us, but now certain states have named it essential as far as like being one of the few businesses that stay open.
My main takeaway is just like, I really need them to remember that after this, you know, the fact that it's essential. Just like after the Corona shit passes, remember that it was essential and how many people it helped and all that. And I'm really wondering, just, you know, for Jason, maybe someone who's actually like closer to the actual industry, how has coronavirus changed your day-to-day at all?
I mean, we're still cultivating, and our dispensary opens May 1st. We're not going to open our business because we want people's first impression to come inside. And, you know, right now, they're not letting everything is curbside to go. So we're not going to open our store until after people can start coming inside. Also, like friends of mine who are not in the legal market, they're saying they're booming. You know, this business has been essential for people for a very long time, regardless. You know, on them, the government making it essential right now, it shows that cannabis is moving in a direction, but I don't know if it's the right direction or not. You know, it's moving in a direction, and it's good there's movement, you know. Those are all good things, I'd say. But we'll find out. You know, like AB said, you know, we'll find out a year from now.
Now, I want you guys to know this, though. Let me give you guys some New York news, which Danny probably knows, that this is not in all the states, guys. The New York Post just came out today and said that it's not deemed essential in New York, and patients can't get it in New York. So it's only in some places, not all places.
Yeah, it's definitely state by state. So it's state government.
Of course, yeah. And some places the medical is allowed and the rec isn't, you know, in some rec states where, you know, only the patients can actually get it. So it is interesting how it's, you know, a state by state case. And here in New York,
and
they
that's
just
also
took
why
it
I
out
answered it like that.
Here in New York, they just took it out of the budget too. It was like legitimately about to go legal, and they need those funds for virus, you know, relief or whatever. So, you know, they reluctantly basically removed it out of the budget as something for 2020. So we gotta wait another year here too, unless they do something drastic in between, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening this year. So now I'm gonna start getting.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I was gonna say this thing pushed us under, you know, pushed everybody underground, but we're from the underground. Like we came out of that, so we know how to go back to, like, you know, survival mode, because we've been in survival mode before. But so it does shake out some of the people who thought they were gonna get rich quick, you know what I mean? And then, you know, that just jump in the market and jump out, you know, those they're out, you know what I mean? Like they're not sticking around through all of this. But the true believers and the people who, you know, dedicated their lives to this and everything are, you know, going to come out on the other side, you know, in a positive manner, and I think, you know, in a good position, at least I think, to thrive.
Now I'm gonna ask you each a question specifically to each one of you guys. It's to get a little update on what you guys been up to. First, I'm gonna start with you, Ab. I know recently, before the madness, you were fortunate enough to take a trip to Egypt. So tell me how that went, and how's the vibes over there and the cannabis scene, and tell me how that was.
Honestly, it was pretty awesome. You know, I wasn't expecting to see much like cannabis related shit. I just was planning to have my regular vacation, but I did bring a peep, and I did have some hash rosin because, you know, you never know, you got to be ready. Literally had to leave some of my cousin out there because, like, I was definitely not trying to fucking bring nothing with me, no chance back. But vacation wise, I was on a cruise and I got to see all the historical stuff, but a couple of stops on the cruises, I did get to like interact with cannabis or cannabis related things. Like, for example, when I went to a Nubian town, that's the first time I smelled weed in Egypt ever. Like, I probably like the only time, to be honest. I actually smelled decent too. Like, I was pretty excited for. I was. They
got the gas out in Egypt.
I was surprised, bro. Like, it didn't smell like just weed; it smelled like terps. So I was like, all right, someone's smoking decent out here. You know, like that's pretty dope. And I didn't really have any trouble fucking with my weed. I mean, according to my brother and my mom, my weed was leaking out of my room. The smell of it was leaking out of my room, and like no one came and confronted me. So I may have got lucky, but I know you should probably be careful in Egypt, to be honest, with most things. Like that's like where fucking hash pretty much originates, but at the same time, it's the first place that made it illegal, I'm pretty sure, in the world.
You're Middle Eastern also, right, Ab?
Yeah, I'm Egyptian.
Okay, so
that was the motherland.
You went back to the motherland with to smoke the gas and bring your own gas back. Come on.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know you're really happy you went on that trip right before quarantine.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I got there, and then as soon as I got there, they're like, yo, there's a case in Egypt. I was like, wow. I was like, like, because when I was on the way, I was like, well, at least there's like nothing in Africa yet. And then like I land there, and they're like, Egypt's hit. I'm like, well, here we go. I juked it though. Apparently, the route I took, like, there were cruises that got hit with it hard, but I guess I was there just early enough.
That's amazing, man. Thank you for sharing that trip with us. Now, Danny, you know how it is, man. As we say up here where I'm from, you know that you hear things in the barbershop. You know, a little birdie in the barbershop told me that I should watch out for maybe Danny Danko coming out with a podcast in the near future. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I'm working on it right now.
You found out everything in the barbershop, right, Danny, in New York?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm working on right now for the, my next chapter. I got, some things, some other idea, a third book as well that I'm planning, and basically got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. But yeah, I'm excited about the podcast and a lot of just new opportunities that are out there in the world.
No, definitely. We look forward to that, man. We're going to imagine with that when you get to display that encyclopedia knowledge you have up there to the world. It's going to be something to see. I'm going to be the first subscriber.
Nice, thank you. I appreciate it.
Jason, now for you, Jason, I had a question about, since you have this, treasure trove of fire. What's next right now coming up as far as like new strains coming up, new projects? What's happening, Jason? What's going on in Detroit? Let us live through you.
Right now, what we're doing mostly right now is we're just hunting a lot of genetics. We're working close with certain breeders to formulate more flavors geared towards what we're looking for. I'm not a breeder, so I work with other breeders and just creating our own flavors, creating our own lane. Picking the type of cultivars, the type of genetics I want to pick, and I want to just take it the way we want people to smoke, like how we smoke, and I want to be selecting those flavors, and I don't want to follow like what other companies are doing. I just want to, a lot of stuff is, I kind of don't want to say, we just want to surprise people.
No, of course. I just want you to give them a rough draft to get them excited,
Sticky buns.
I mean, how are you not gonna get attracted to that name?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. The real sticky buns. Here, let me tell you guys the story. We've had sticky buns for about since 2017. We've been pumping it, in Michigan, very little. And we took it off the shelf, but we keep a little on. And, like a few other companies, now like trying to use the name because it was, before I took it off the shelf. A few big company names, they're trying to steal the name Sticky Buns, and we work really hard for that name, you know what I'm saying, and get recognition for that. So, you know what I'm saying? Sticky Buns, man, the real Sticky Buns, bred by Captain.
You have to reclaim it
by me.
There you guys have it, man. You heard it here first. Now my next question I'm interested in for all three of you guys. I want to know this. This is where it's going to get a little more fun and interesting. I want to know how and when you found out about Happy Munkey. Who put you on? Start with you,
I wonder if me and Danny found out at the same time. But if I remember correctly, I think it was at like one of those expos. The CWBC is the one that's coming to my head. I feel like it was one of those expos. I was there. I was meeting people, connecting with people. And someone was like, you got to get to the after party. Like, this place is going to be lit. Like, this after party is going to be crazy. And I was just like, yeah, no, it sounds like literally everyone I was talking to was talking about that specific location. They're all saying they were going to go to a party and everyone was going to that location. So I was like, yeah, no, we're out. And that was my introduction to a Happy Munkey event. And that shit was fire. It was amazing. It was like, not what I expected at all, because it was so much better than what I expected. I just expected like a regular party, but it ended up meeting fucking pretty much a family. It was a good time.
I'm happy you decided to go. I'm happy we got to meet you and we still rocking to this day, man. As I met you, man, you got amazing energy, good vibes and shit. That's what it's all about, man.
Appreciate you, man.
How about you, Danny?
Yeah, for me, I'm trying to think. I mean, I remember recording a podcast with you guys.
Yeah, you came with DJ Woo
and
Kid.
Mario with Who Kid.
Yeah.
Right, but that wasn't the first time I was there.
That wasn't the first time, yeah.
No. The first time I did the interview, it was just me.
Yeah, you came with Mario.
And it was, and and I was just amazed, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, this place exists. And then I watched the Super Bowl there, the one where where Brady came back to win the game or whatever. Like, I guess not this last one, but the one before in 2018 Super Bowl. I think whatever it was, I watched that there too. Just had an amazing time every time. Got to meet Branson.
Branson, huh?
Right, at the
legendary.
That was with the Last Prisoner Project benefit, where they spoke very eloquently about how we need to free the prisoners, the cannabis prisoners, and now more than ever, you know what I mean? Because the prison is a breeding ground for virus as well, and these dudes did nothing wrong, you know what I mean? Like, no violence, no like bullshit, just weed offenses. So I do love that Last Prisoner Project, and I love that you guys would have a benefit there as well, but I really can't remember. I think Mario brought me the first time, and I had heard about it too through a few other people, the chef, and I really enjoyed it very much, and it was a perfect vibe for this city and that time, and I love what you've done with it ever since.
Thank you, man. I'm really happy I met you, and from day one, when nobody knew about us, you didn't know us, you always show so much love and support and insight. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, man. We're on to bigger and better things. I think, the New York and the East Coast is gonna definitely shine in the future when all this is over, and even during, but in the end, I think people are gonna take things a little more seriously and pay more attention to what's really going on, and so it's important to get the good information out to people.
Definitely, man. Well, how about you, Jason?
Happy Munkey, AB, Ab told me, I hit up Ab, I told him I need a place to smoke in New York, man, because Ab's my brother, and he was like, go to Happy Munkey, and he linked me up with you, and man, I love that place. You're a monster. That place, that was one of the best times, best clubs I've ever been to, man. What a beautiful atmosphere.
Thank you for being the real person that you are. Same thing, since I met you, you've been nothing but supportive and, showing love and bringing that amazing vibe of yours. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank
you, man.
Thank you for linking us up, man. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Vladimir is good. He's good people, man.
No, 100%.
He's good for New
York.
Yeah,
I agree.
Man. All you guys are good for the East Coast. I gotta ask Danny a question though.
Come on, that's what it's about here, man.
When are you gonna start your own magazine, man? I hear you're gonna start your own magazine.
Jason said I gotta ask him a question.
You need some investors, Danny. Come on, man. What are you doing, man?
The
culture back to high time.
The world loves Danny, Jason. I've been telling him.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I thought Danny was the owner. You know what I'm saying? You should start.
That's funny.
Your own little magazine, man. You should start your own. I'm telling you, put a culture.
That's a true story. I like that.
High times. I love like you, Ab, Samina, good people over there. Mark. Just honestly, you guys, a lot of amazing people. I think a lot of you guys are so talented, and I'm an entrepreneur, man. I don't understand why you work for them. like you're the fucking man. You should have your own magazine, man. When are you gonna do that?
I'm open to all opportunities. For me, it's just important to teach people how to grow their own. And give them knowledge about the strains and what's out there, what's available. I love the idea, what I mean, from your lips to Jaw's ears and all that. the future is wide open for all of us, I think, right now. And I think every one of us has bigger and better things on the horizon. So, I mean, that's where I'm at. I feel like that's where you guys are at as well. It's like, we just got to pull through this crisis, and then boom, like the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. And
2020 is the year of vision and clarity.
Making good use of this time too.
You know,
you're doing the podcast.
Exactly. You know, there's that, but media and all that is great, and I definitely want to be a part of the future of all of that. So, I'm working on all kinds of projects and ideas, and I think we all should be right now, because I mean, we've got nothing but time on our hands.
Literally.
to plan the future, write the articles we want to write, pop the seeds we want to pop, and see what grows, and then harvest it and cure it, and then partake and reap the benefits of what we planted now, with the time that we have now. It's springtime, it's planting season. So whether you're planting ideas, or you're planting seeds, or you're planning your future, whatever, it's no better time than now. Especially
that
when
mentor energy that I missed.
All of what we do can be done at home. You know what I mean? For the most part, So let's do it.
The show must go on, right, Danny?
Yeah, 100%.
So guys, I got an interesting question for you guys. I believe in society as a whole, right? But we're gonna keep it on the industry. Society as a whole, the way that you have like BCAD, I think it's gonna be like pre-Rona, post-Rona, right? So my question to you guys is, how is it gonna be pre-cannabis industry before the Rona, and post-cannabis industry after the Rona? Because I feel personally that this is gonna put the industry through a strainer, and everybody's not gonna come out on the other side.
For sure.
Only the cream of the crop will come out on the other side. So what do you think, Ab?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I feel like from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are thriving though, just because like people are hungry for weed regardless. So I'm sure if your thing's the last thing on the shelf, people are gonna get it. But at the same time, I don't think people are down to like emptying shelves. So people still have a choice. So people try your shit and take it home, they don't like it, they're gonna be pissed, come back and never try it again. So some people are probably gonna get phased out. And then another thing is like, do you have, people start getting sick in our industry, how many people do they have working at a time? Like, like some of these places are like small shops. So if like a couple people go out of commission, like what happens to that grow? I don't really know.
Thank you for your take, man. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just an opinion, Ab. There's no facts in this. This is just what we assume. That means, we've been in it for a while. I think that's a good guess. How about you, Jason? What do you think is going to be post-COVID cannabis industry? Jason. Can't really hear you, Jason. Breaking up.
He's just flagging. I do think the black market's gonna thrive though. I don't know about the legal market, but I think the black market is gonna kill it, and probably some of the people who are like stocking up in between then, or saving up from there, can probably hop into the legal market, when some of the other people are getting phased out.
How about you, Danny?
You guys hear me?
Now we hear you.
I think for me, I think people are gonna be looking for a top shelf product. I think that the consumer isn't gonna be really wasting time with mids or anything that's like not top shelf. I think. I don't know. I mean, at least for me, it's like I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to once that product exists, you know what I mean? Like stuff like this, I'm not going back. You know what I mean? To like.
That's you and me, but there's so many people out there who are just like looking at price and shit like that, so they help like some of that mid survive.
But I think that price is less of an issue once you've like faced down this like crazy invisible enemy. You know what I mean? Like you come out of this and you're like, you know what? I'll spend a little more.
I'm gonna treat myself.
I definitely
I'll
feel
spend
that
a
way.
little more on this, and like maybe cut back somewhere else or whatever it might be. But I don't know. To me, it's like, why waste your time with anything but the best, the highest quality, you know?
Jason.
If you're like us, right? I mean, you're connoisseurs.
So
that's who's going to be watching this, I would imagine. Sorry.
Of course. What do you think,
ahead,
Jason? What do you think it's going to be? Like I said, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be like post-Rona, you know, pre-Rona, and it's going to be a massive shift in the way things were before.
You know, over the previous 18 months, there was a lot of parties and events going on. I think that's all eliminated now. I don't believe there'll be any type of events. You know, I don't think there's going to be any sporting events that are going to have people in them. I believe teams will be playing, but I don't believe people will be in stadiums this fall, you know. So I believe like a lot of marijuana events, concerts, festivals, I don't believe they're going to happen this year, this summer. I don't believe they're going to happen in the fall. So like if you're a brand trying to come up in this industry today, and now there's going to be no floor space because they might just be doing curbside to go. This is where you better be a great marketer. You better be great at doing something else because you're not going to be able to be in front of people right now. It's you know, you better figure out how to do internet marketing, you know, online marketing,
podcast advertising.
Absolutely, it's going to be a different monster. But I mean, I know we're going to be that strong genetic standing at the end. You know, that's where, you know, we're survivors. We're, you know, all right. You know, to me, it's simple. Listen, I don't want to say I got it figured out, but you know, I make sure, you know, we don't have investors' money, man. We work, man. We use our own money. We built from the ground up, man. We're grinders. We're from the old guard coming into this guard. I don't, you know, these guys look at BDS analytics and shit like that. Like,
BDS analytics.
I didn't even know what it was until this guy told me what it was in a meeting, and I'm like negotiating with him and shit. And I was just like, you know, this guy lost. You know what I'm saying?
I got the culture analytics, Jason. The culture.
Yeah, the culture.
I love it.
You know, I mean, but I know what BDS analytics is now, so you know what I'm saying. But you know, I don't look at it. But what I'm saying is we'll survive. You know, because we put in that time. We're that brand. You know, in the Midwest. You know, we have relationships all over the country. Whatever I decide to do, you know, we're gonna survive. We're monsters. You know, we're gonna do really well. I don't know about other companies. You know, I hope everybody survives. I hope everybody makes it. I really hope everybody makes it. Every company,
I don't hope everybody
good,
makes
bad,
it.
I hope. You know,
I'm gonna tell you guys my opinion now. My opinion, Jason, is that this strainer, the number one people that is gonna weed out were, I already hear it in the barbershop. Like I said, I hear everything in the barbershop, Jason. A lot of people that just came that weren't part of the culture and weren't part of the industry and just came for the green rush just to grab that big bag and leave. A lot of them are not gonna make it through because they were never here for the culture, for the industry, for the medicine. They were just here for a quick come up and to leave, you know what I mean? It's for a quick valuation or whatever they do. And I really feel that more than ever now, they realize, people like us and so many other people out there, that if you don't involve your culture, like what's been happening for the last year, they all have lost 50, 40, 60% of their value. I believe that they're gonna know that on this next go round, if you don't do something together with the culture, your odds of success and making money are real slim. That's what my opinion is. So I feel like this is gonna weed out the people that just came for the quick money grab, that weren't part of the industry, that just got in it recently just to, you know what I mean, just to basically get off the land.
Give me an explanation. Give me an example of a company that you're talking about. Like, really, give me an example.
Come on!
I'd like to know an example.
Come on!
No, I just would like to know. No.
Give it to them raw.
Because I can give you an answer to that and explain it to you a little bit.
I think there's a lot of companies. I don't think there's just one. I think there's a lot of companies, a lot of people, investors that would just like, you know what I mean? I just come in and I put this amount of money up, and I'm gonna be out 10x in a year or two. They saw the valuations.
So I'm gonna explain that to you.
I think it starts there, because the root of the problem, nothing can move. The gas of everything is the investor and the money, right?
So let me give you.
I think that
Vlad,
they know that that's not gonna work.
Vlad, listen. So if let's say you're talking about a company that they have their initials are double M, right?
Okay.
And you know we're talking about them because they're on the way out, let's say.
Okay.
But the top 3 guys in that company already profited $50-60 million in their pocket. So they didn't fucking lose nothing. Those guys made out like bandits.
But once again, Jason, you made my point exactly. The people that
That's
lost
still being-
were the investors. So now on the next go around, they're not looking for a company like that. They're looking for a company that's really in it for the long haul, and that has some type of culture that can withstand these turbulent times and these volatile situations that happen. And 90% of the time, it's not some trust fund kid that just got in the game 2-3 years ago.
You know what I would say is that, you know, some of us don't need investors. You know what I mean? Like, what do you need their money for? If they need you and you don't need,
100%.
you know, hey, anybody can make money. You know what I mean? Like money's the least of, you know, the least of the worries. You have to create great content. You have to like engage with an audience. You have to do this, that, and the other. That's the hard part. The money comes easy. Money comes and goes, but investors take your company, or investors take your name or take your brand and own it. And like, who needs investors? You know what I mean? Like, you know, to me, it's like,
you heard it from Danny, baby. Stay independent. It's like,
I mean, if somebody,
correct.
unless it's like, you know, somebody dangles something in front of you, like, you know, we were talking about earlier with, you know, those executives at the top that walk away with a bunch of money. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you're in it for, you're in it for that. But I'm in it for life. You know what I mean? I'm in it.
There you go.
I dedicated my life to this.
But
you know,
I believe
aside from my family and friends, cannabis is the next most important thing to me in life. So I'm, you know,
this is not a hobby, huh, Danny? This is not a hobby.
No, but money, yeah, it's not a hobby, and money comes and goes. It's like, if I have enough money to live comfortably, I'm good. I don't need to be a billionaire. That's craziness. You know what I mean? That comes with its own whole set of problems. You know, I'm happy. I like to smoke great weed. You know what I mean? That to me is success, because that's what I want.
And that's what I think that's misconstrued nowadays. That I always told somebody this: if you have $100 million and I have 10, and I'm happy and you're not, I'm more successful than you are. And a lot of 100%. People don't factor in the happiness part, because some of the most miserable people I've met are very rich people. Like
100%.
So it doesn't always equal to that.
Yeah, and famous and rich, those things are like curses, you know, in a certain way. So to me, you know, I always, you know, I live grow by grow, and like, you know, back in the day, and then paycheck to paycheck or whatever it is. You know, to me, it's just, you're in it for the love and it shows, or you're in it for the dough and it shows, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with making dough, you know what I mean? Everybody should be, you know, we should all be thriving and making money and feeding our families and everything, you know, that's, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with making a lot of money. But, you know, for me, there's other things that are more important at the end of the day.
Well said, well said. Now, I gotta lighten things up a bit, guys. I wanna ask each one of you your craziest cannabis story, meaning like your craziest story where you were smoking somewhere with somebody or somewhere. So I know we're gonna get some interesting answers. Let's start with you, Ab. What's your craziest?
Well, I don't know if it's the craziest, but something like the first thing that came to mind is something that I actually like just hit up my friend about.
You know, the most memorable, whatever it is.
This one's pretty memorable to me because it's just like ridiculous. So one time when I was in college, first of all, I don't even know why me and my boy were smoking a bong outside. We went to like the parking lot and we were smoking a bong outside in the parking lot for whatever reason. Like, don't fucking ask. I think because like we were tired of getting in trouble. Like we were on like 2 strikes, 1 more, you're fucking out or whatever, smoking inside the dorms. So we were like, yo, just take it outside. So smoking in the parking lot, and it's a pretty empty one. I picked like the emptiest parking lot, hoping no one would pull into it. But like midway through smoking, like some girl pulls in. It's like decent distance from us though. Like, but she pulls in where like we're like, you know, in the same row that she's parking in, but she's like all the way at the end of it. And for some, it's an empty parking lot, but she fails to park like 3 times. Like she has to like go in, out, adjust, in, out, adjust in an empty parking lot. I think because she saw smoking weed and she just like got nervous or something. Maybe she's never seen it. So she gets out her car, she grabs some shit, and she leaves like the van door like open. I guess because like, again, she just seemed like in a rush. I don't know if it's because it was us being in the parking lot and her being afraid or something, but she just dipped. And like my friend's like, yo, she left her door open, should we tell her? And I was like, honestly, she seems a little shook. Like we'll just we'll let her go and we'll close it for her, you know, when she's gone. And then, you know, like I'm like, it's my turn. I'm like hitting it, you know, like I exhale and I look at my friend, I'm like, yo, you trying to hotbox in her van?
Here goes the interesting turn of the story.
And then so we go in her fucking van, and he's about to like my boy comes in second. He's about to close the door. I'm like, yo, don't close it, because I noticed that like all the doors like were locked except for like the one door that she left open. So I had a feeling if he closed it, you know, the alarm would go off. So I was like, you know, like leave it cracked. So we sat in there and we hotboxed. He took like a little video of it. It was hilarious. And then when we're leaving, I guess because like we got higher, he forgot. I was like, as we're leaving, I was like, yo, don't close the door. Don't close the door. He closed the fucking door. So the alarm started going off and we had to start darting through the parking lot down, like through campus, like through probably like fucking like 3 dorm buildings to get to where our building was with bong in hand. So like that's the craziest thing that came to my mind off top.
That sounds like a TV show right there, Av.
That shit was fun.
Jason, tell me about yours, Jason. Tell me about what's your craziest weed story.
I'll tell you, I got a lot of crazy ones, but I'll tell you a recent one, man.
All right.
Good night me and you had, man.
I want to hear this.
We just, you know, we went out to a great dinner. This basement of this place, you know, he tried to do that John Gotti shit.
I took him, Danny and Ab, I took him to Philippe Chow, to like the private tables in the basement. You gotta walk through the kitchen.
And then somehow, some way, we ended up at a private party with Drake.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's about 40 people at the party, man. And
by the way, guys, before you continue, I'm over here trying to take him out, right, guys? So I have my own plans, and he's the one that gets into the Drake party. I'm like, you're not even from here. How you get into the Drake party?
Yo, how did that happen? Tell me. I want to know how you got the end.
It's just magic, man. Yeah. You just shit happens when you're with me, you know? It just we got in there, you know?
Right.
Yo, and nobody knew us in there. Yeah,
did you smoke up the right person?
Nobody was in there.
Nobody knew us in there.
Canna Boys, man.
When this man pulled out that Canna Boys and he lit it up, we were the coolest guys in the party.
I love it.
That's what happened. But it was like 50 models in this thing. There was about 50 models, Drake and his boys. And we were there with Drake's girlfriend, and about 5 gay guys, a few something else, you know, and motherfucker, everybody in that motherfucker was pretty, man. Me and him were the ugliest guys in there. Okay?
It was fashion week, guys.
It was fashion week, you know, and you know, it was man, me and him, I mean, that was a fucking hell of a night.
I ended up, the Canna Boys fire was so strong that Drake's manager came up to me like, let me get your information.
You know, it was just fun. It was a good night. Man, it was a good night, but, you know, that's just normal.
Yeah, okay.
That happens.
Now,
you know,
now, Jason, last but not least, I want to hear this one. Danny Danko. Craziest cannabis weed situation, you know.
I mean, it's really hard to choose because there's so many.
But you gotta
and
pick one that you can remember.
I could name drop all day and all that too because I know.
But it's more about you that had an experience. Or whatever.
Okay, all right, I got one. I was invited to be a guest of Girl Talk. You know, the DJ. He plays like hip hop along with like other pop music and everything and mix it, but it's crazy dance music. People love it. But he's a great DJ, and it's a whole performance. The crowd goes berserk and everything. So I wrote an article about him in High Times, and they invited me to the finale of the tour at Terminal 5 here in New York.
Okay.
I love
and yeah, and so, you know, it's gonna be fun. They have like everything set up for the last night of the tour. I'm basically on stage, hanging out with a friend, watching the show, and the show's crazy. It's just getting started, and people are like in the bathroom. People are doing crazy drugs. These are like young kids going berserk, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm free and clear. You know, I'm just lighting a joint. So, and I'm kind of like backstage, side stage area, and I light a joint. And the next thing I know, this big bouncer grabs my shoulder and he's like, "You gotta go." And he's got dreadlocks. He's got dreadlocks. Yeah, he's got dreadlocks. Not like Rastafari dreadlocks. You were like, "Bro, what do you mean?" Yeah. We had a whole conversation because he had my shoulder in his hand and was like, "You gotta go." I mean, meanwhile, I'm like hanging out on stage. I'm like, "Sir, I'm a guest of the artist. You know, I'll put it out. I won't smoke anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Like, do you know what's going on in the bathroom right now?" And he was not amused. He was like, "You gotta go." And I was like, oh, fuck, man. All right, whatever, you know. So I'm walking and he's like basically starting to drag me out. And I was like, dude, come on. You know what I mean? Like, let me walk out. Like, let me just
Not necessary. I'm walking out.
I'll just walk out. You don't have to hold me while I walk out. I'm walking out. You know? And then I find myself on like 54th Street, standing there with the beer in my hand on the street. Cabs are going by. And I look down and I have an all access, like, pass on my leg with like backstage, you know, like access and everything. And so I just finished the beer. I walked back around. I walked right in the front door. I said, "Oh, I was just outside smoking a cigarette." And they let me right back in. And I went back into the show and I snuck back to the same sort of area where I was. And I spent basically, long story short, I spent the rest of the show basically trying to avoid this one dude and enjoy myself. But then I was backstage at the end and it's all over. The show's done. People are clearing out, but we're celebrating because it's the end of the tour. There's champagne, you know, backstage and everything. And it's like kind of like a little wild scene because, you know, it's the end of the tour for them and they're letting off their steam and everything. And lo and behold, the dude with the dreads who was the security guard that kicked me out walks by and he's bussing tables. Like he's got a tray of like glasses, you know, in his hands, and he walks by with the tray, like bringing them to the dishwasher. And we lock eyes and he looks at me and I look at him and I'm literally like drinking champagne with the artist that just got off stage. And he just gave me like this, like rolled his eyes look and just kept going. And I was just like, oh my God, we had the craziest little moment right there because he knew.
You didn't know things could have gone left, huh, Danny?
Well, sure, definitely. But I think he just was defeated at that moment. He was like, you know what, you win. I'm sorry. It would have been
awkward as fuck for him if he tried to kick you out right there. They would have been like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, and even then, and they all knew the story that I had snuck out and everything. They knew.
Oh,
you know
shit.
What I mean?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was a trip just to get kicked out for smoking weed and then sneak back in. And then, you know, at the end of the day, like, I still managed to have fun and enjoy, you know, that's what we do. We persevere as stoners and, you know, we find the joy in whatever situation we're placed in, I guess.
People don't know how hard it is over here until recently to smoke a joint. It's like Mission Impossible.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, you know, we went through the era of the weed spots like we talked about. Then, you know, Giuliani came and it became the delivery services. And, you know, we've gone through it all, you know. It's New York cannabis and East Coast, you know, and that includes Michigan, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, guys, this is the way I see it, man. They got fight while we starved. It's our turn. Our turn. I had to smoke in basements, rooftops. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know if you know this, Jason, and I think Danny's gonna know this.
Pissy staircases.
For us to well, you know, I grew up poor, you know, Harlem, you know, urban neighborhood. The most joyful, luxurious smoke thing you could do at that time in the 90s and the 2000s was somebody had a car to take a smoke ride on the highway and go around Manhattan and the FDR. And that was like the most safest, comfortable way that you could possibly smoke. That's how hard it was to get it to smoke a joint.
I don't know. I was just in New York. I had every driver let me smoke weed in their car. I don't know why.
That's now, Jason.
That's now.
Jason.
I don't even
Boy,
be
Jason.
asking.
Now.
Jason,
I don't ask them.
Jason,
You ask them?
it was rough over here, Jason.
When I get in their car,
No.
I'll spark it up. What are they gonna tell me? It's an Uber. I'll tell them I'll give you $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get. I'm telling you, every single, never one time.
I love you, bro.
I got
Yo,
5
bro,
star.
next time
Go
you
look at
out
my
here,
Uber.
make sure
I
you
got
call
5
me.
star. Tell him I'm not lying. You know.
This guy's something else. You guys have no idea. Now I got another.
Yo, Vlad, what's your story?
Okay,
I'm
all
saying
right, all
Fifth
right.
Avenue. I'm smoking a joint right on
All
corner
right.
of Fifth Avenue,
All right.
and I don't even know.
So
It's
I'm
normal.
gonna tell you the most recent story, guys. Most recent story, like Danny said, there's too many stories, but the most recent story is that me and Ramon went to a trip to Washington D.C. Right? So we go to D.C. We're checking out everything, you know, the monuments, you know, checking out the vibes. Went to visit some homies out there we got, or whatever the case. Then, you know, we're like, you know what? F that, man. We got to smoke in front of the White House. We're going to come to D.C. and not smoke in front of the White House. And it was nighttime. And we're like, fuck it, all right. So we go, we smoking, take a few pictures, boom, boom, boom. Right when we almost finished smoking, the Secret Service comes on a bike, you heard? I'm like, oh, shit. This could go left. So he's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, nah, we were just taking some pictures or whatever. He's like, don't worry about it. I ain't worried about the weed. You guys just got to go. That's my last craziest story. Now, guys, my next question is to you guys. I'm interested to know, what is the game plan for 420? 420, 2020, biggest year in history. What's the game plan and what's the vibes? Start with you, Abs.
I mean, honestly, bro, I don't have an official plan. Like, because obviously the plan is probably still gonna be to stay by, you know, myself, right?
I know if you smoke 2 dabs a day, you're gonna smoke 10 dabs that day. You
already know, but I'm doing shrooms. That's first of all. I don't know, Jay, if like I have to take it to the next level.
Yes.
I have to take it to a whole nother level, bro. So I'm definitely
staying on point.
I'm taking a nice shroom smoothie and I'm fucking smoking all day. I don't know exactly what activities I can do by myself. I'm gonna try to go outside anyways because I like to fucking go outside on shrooms, but I'm gonna just avoid people. Otherwise, I'll be inside, fucking watching something, tripping out, and smoking all day. Definitely dabbing hard.
Sounds like a game plan. That's it.
I'm gonna roll a Cannagar. 420, you gotta roll a Cannagar.
It's about you, man. As long as you happy, it is what it is, man. You know, gotta make the best of it. You know.
Absolutely.
So how about you, Jason? What's happening in Jason's world in D-Town? What are the vibes for 420, 2020?
Just gonna smoke sticky buns.
Straight up and down?
That's it.
But what you're doing right now.
But
just smoking sticky buns.
You gotta smoke
it's a
like
normal day, man.
You gotta smoke
every day is 420, man.
You gotta
every day is 420.
You gotta smoke like a whole pound of sticky buns on that day, man. Come on, man. It's not a regular day, man. That's history right there, man. I never thought I would see 2020 right now. Who knows, right? 420, 2020.
I'm gonna have my nightcap, man. I just have my nightcap. Smoke sticky buns, man. Just, if you know how I felt right now, I'll let you know. I'll send you. You'll be taken care of, man. You'll get to see how I feel.
I ain't got no Canna Boys. I want to blow you up over here and make you look bad, but I ain't got no Canna Boys here. Man. That's the problem,
Listen,
man.
It's your personal, man. It's your personal. Listen, just personal. Listen, just smoke some sticky buns, man.
That's it, man. That's
the
all
real
it is,
stick,
man.
the real sticky buns.
No
Real
doubt.
sticky buns.
No doubt, no doubt, man. So what about you? Last but not least, Mr. Danny. We know you're in high demand out here in these streets. So what is happening for 2020, which I know you know is a big milestone for cannabis?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, we've been anticipating it for a long time. It's absolutely so different than what we expected it to be, but like stoners, we adapt. You know what I mean? Like when you're from our world, you adapt. So things are going virtual. I got a bunch of different things scheduled throughout the day. Certainly East Coast 420, I'm gonna step out. I got a roof deck and a balcony and put some in the air. Be smoking all day, of course, but that's when we go outside and commiserate with our people. And then at 7 p.m., everybody in New York bangs on, pots and pans and whistles and yells around.
The healthcare workers.
Yeah, to say thank you to the people that are out there working for us, the healthcare people, the delivery people, the people at the bodegas.
Front line.
Even the weed delivery people, you know what I mean? They get a shout out too because they're out there risking it. So, I got a bunch of stuff scheduled, but it's the same thing. Like he said, it's just another day really. But in 2 years, it'll be our time to make up for it together, all in person. 422. 422.
Oh, that's gonna be a movie. I can see that already.
Hopefully, it'll be even 421 as well. But, I gotta say, rest in peace to Charlotte Fiji, the 13-year-old girl who passed last week from Charlotte's Web. And, all the pioneers that came before us that passed, we do this for them too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I should pass or whatever, like I want that fight to continue. We got to free the prisoners. We got to maintain home grow, and we got to create places for social use once we're able to be social again. We might not pass each other joints or blunts, but hey, that's just, your personals. And,
that's off the table.
It might be the end of the handshake. It might be the end of the past, but that doesn't mean it's the end of us socializing and celebrating cannabis together. So that's my hope for, the future. And that's, what we're going to do this 420. We're going to celebrate and we're going to protest and we're going to fight for more cannabis freedom than ever before when all this is over.
1,000%, man. Well said, Danny. Well, me, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going out in the blaze of glory. That day, I got another episode of Happy Munkey Happy Hour with Vlad dropping. I got the 420 episode is Al Harrington. Some of you guys know. If you're a football fan, I got Ahmad Bradshaw and I got Hakeem Nicks, 2 Super Bowl champions and ex-NBA player, CEO of Viola. So we smoke with them, and then we're gonna go the entire Happy Munkey team, and we're all gonna go live on every platform we have, all 3 Instagrams, LinkedIn, YouTube, everything live, all in different places, lighting up at the same time.
So
that's dope.
I gotta have some virtual session going on that day for sure.
Now, I got the last but not least $1 million question for all 3 of you guys, and I'm really interested in hearing your guys' opinion on it. We'll start with you, Ab. If you had to describe Happy Munkey, the brand, the place, the movement, everything you know about it in one word, what would it be and why?
I want to say love. Because you guys always show it no matter what. You could be in, out, like for a while, regardless, like you guys show love, like, and for the whole community, you guys are in it when times are tough for yourselves, for everyone else. So I don't know, that's what comes to mind for sure for me.
Nah, that's a good one. And nobody ever used that one. That's good. Mr. Jason, what's yours? You have to describe Happy Monkey in one word and why. Jason.
Power.
Power.
Yeah.
Why power? Never heard this before.
Because you're a power player.
It's not me, man. It's a big team behind me, man. It's not me.
You guys are power, man. You're ahead of the curve. You really got.
He said one word.
To the floor. Well, I said power.
No, he said power. Now he explained to me why.
I know.
He said why. But
and nobody ever used that one before.
You got your ear to the floor. You're grinding. You're doing it a different way. I respect you for that, and that's why I think you're gonna be a winner. You're gonna be an influence.
Thank you, Jason, for those kind words and for always believing and supporting the movement, man. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Now, last but not least, Mr. Danny Danko, Happy Monkey. Everything you know about it, one word and why.
I'm going to use a Spanish word in honor of, the Dominican haze and all of that we spoke about, and you guys' heritage and everything. Auténtico.
Auténtico.
Damn.
Which means authentic in English. Why auténtico, Danny?
Because that's the one kind of thing that's, that defines people who are in it for the right reasons, because it doesn't matter if you're an OG and you've been in it for 30 years, or if you just jumped in 2 years ago, or a year ago. If your intentions are proper and you're authentic or authentico, it shines through, because game recognizes game, and like people from our world know who's righteous and who isn't. You know what I mean? So to me, and I remember having a conversation with you where you said that, like, people come sometimes and they want to get in the spot and they tell me how many followers they have, and they're trying to show me on their phone, look at how many followers I have. And you told me, like, that's no way to get in the door here. You know what I mean? This isn't like a hot spot for like people to be seen. This is a place for people that are authentic to gather and have a monumentally great time together in peace and harmony, and like really enjoy each other's company and celebrate this thing that brought us all together. People from all different walks of life, whether it be the hedge fund guys or whatever it is, the authentic always will shine through in the end. And I think that's, to me, of course, that's a lot more than one word.
Yeah,
Danko times. Danko times. Danko times.
I don't know.
Guys, and that's why, Danny, to compliment what you said, Danny, I really believe your vibe attracts your tribe, and I really believe that 90% of little success we have is because of the people, because we just like trying to be the voice of the people over here, the voice of the culture, and we're just a vessel for it, because that's our intention, to give New York City a voice, because it's sad that New York City is like one of the biggest consuming cities in the world, but we got the least media presence, and we're just trying to shine the light on all the people from the culture that are not getting any light over here on this side, And then a bonus is meeting amazing people like you, like Ab, like Jason, and so many other amazing people, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And that's how we got into here today.
Yeah, and that's one thing I gotta say about Ab too, is that I met him only, in the last like year and a half, 2 years, working for High Times and Green Rush Daily and all of that. And he's authentic, you know what I'm saying? He cares about the scene and the culture and the community. And, it was very amazing to me as an older cannabis journalist to see somebody with that spirit, you know what I mean? Like fighting the good fight with us. And that's what I mean by, like, it doesn't really matter how long you've been in this or how old or young you are, or if you're an OG or this or that or the other. It's like, really just, do you have the heart, and is it in the right place?
That's why I always look for two things. And I always tell people, and Ab and you and all three of you guys have it, that my philosophy and my mentality is that character is destiny and intention is everything. And once you get past those two things, everything else could be fixed. You know, and it's unfortunately a little bit of a lack of that nowadays, but we still have to hold on to our morals, principles, and values no matter what, right?
Yeah, and also just focus on the positive. You know what I mean? It's real easy. It's real easy to focus on the negative and like get bogged down into like little battles and this and that. Just focus on the positive and you will stay positive. And, you know, let the past be the past and move on and just hustle and do the work.
Hell yeah.
Guys, it's been an honor and a pleasure, but as you guys know in life, all good things must come to an end. And for now, this one did. I really appreciate you guys. I'm honored that I got 3 icons, you know, on at the same time that are pushing this industry forward and, you know, helping change the game and each in your own way. I want to thank you guys for taking out the time to chop it up with me and really, you know, let me know what's going on in your lives and your companies. And it's an honor, man. You guys got anything to say? Tell the people anything you got coming up, where to find you.
I want to thank Danny. I want to thank Ab. I want to thank you, Vlad. But I want to definitely thank Ab. You know, he hooked me up with you, introduced me to you. You became a good friend of mine now over the last, you know, year. Danny, you're a man. You're the man. I really hope, you know, Danko times is going to be real one day because you're authentic as, you know, you've always been pretty real, you know, and always an approachable, you know, gentleman. And you're you know, you're great for the industry. Ab, you're a beast. You're the hardest working guy I know in the industry. You know, like you do your homework. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are all amazing. What's new? Just sticky buns, man. Right now, it's, you know.
Where can they find? Tell them where to go find it at. What do they have to do? Tell the people. You want to tell them about all this fire, now you don't want to tell them where to find it at. Let them know. What
Instagram. I don't know if there's gonna be any for them. They can just see it. It's gonna go really fast. It's already like gone. It's gonna hit Sunday. It's gonna be at District in Detroit on 8 Mile, but it's gonna be gone in the first hour. You know, it's just, you know, it's gonna be gone. But man, I thank you guys, and everybody keep their head up. Stay safe, and just, you know, stay mentally strong. That's it. Stay mentally strong through these times. Keep your head up. All of you guys too, everybody.
I love you like cook food. Thank you so much, man, I know you don't do the media thing like that. I'm honored that you took, you know what I mean, took the time to really, you know what I mean, come out and, you know what I mean, rock with me here, man. It means a lot to me.
No, thank you.
So
But
Danny,
thank you guys for the kind words.
You want to tell anybody about where to find you, anything you got coming up, so like that, you know, people.
Yeah, I mean, everything's on my social media. Danny Danko Twitter, Danny Danko Facebook, Danny Danko HT on Instagram. I'm about to be on a few other things too. They're telling me to be on Twitch and, you know, Cameo and things like that. So
what do you do on Twitch?
I don't know. I haven't started yet, but we'll see. Are you supposed to like show people what you do or smoke a joint? I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, not
I mean,
TikTok. TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok.
My little brother watches Twitch, but he only uses it to like watch people play video games. But I do remember that they do let like people smoke weed on Twitch, so that's pretty awesome. Maybe I should start.
I want to say personally, Danny.
We'll see. But for me, just I have my book out and I have my podcast coming out. I'm excited to hear your show with the sports legends, because that's going to be really interesting. So that's like the next big thing that I'm excited for. And 420, and then, you know, everything else that we have coming to us.
Danny, I want to say personally, you've been an inspiration, you know, like a mentor to me, and have, you know, welcomed me with open arms before anybody knew about Happy Munkey. You know, I like to give people their flowers while they're here. You're a legend, an icon. Thank you for laying the groundwork for people like me to exist, because people seem to forget that without the OGs, you know, fighting the good fight like you did, it wouldn't be this amazing industry that is today with the ground paved for everybody. So thank you, not just for me, but what you've done for the industry and the culture, more importantly.
Appreciate it. You know, it's for cannabis. It's about cannabis. and just spreading the word, spreading the seeds.
There you go. So look out for that. So what about you, Ab? Tell the people where to find you. Anything to look out for?
So best place to find me and anything I'm doing probably is just at Dab Hanna. You can find that on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. I'm just taking this like extra time I got to just take my content to like another level. So I'm writing, I'm taking photos, learning more about photos, and I'm trying to do a little bit of video. Anything I start to do, you'll see on my Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So,
and if you guys want to have a dab competition, I bet my money on Ab can out dab any of you guys out there.
Yeah, probably, maybe, I don't know. But I dab modest amounts, so there's definitely gonna be people pulling out those 2 gram dabs. I'm like, you do that.
Guys, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I want you guys all to know, everybody out there, you're too blessed to be stressed. Happy 420, everybody. Thank you guys for coming to chop it up here with me. It's been an honor. And till the next episode, peace, love, and happiness.